where you can meet the world and send it in the ripples out into the general public. It's something you keep doing. It's an art form in itself to speak to somebody in a way that gives them respect, and you honor them, and you maybe sometimes even give somebody more worth than they may even give themselves, and just giving them that attention. I mean, some people really just need a little bit of TLC, I guess. They're just withering inside, and just a little bit of watering of the seed will help the plant grow.
It's just it's like a reminder to people that they are the one. We're all Neo in a way. Every one of us, we're all Neo. The character in the Matrix, the movie.
Sure, yeah.
And it's a matter of just reminding people. I was just thinking, Chris, you were just saying, in a way, we're all broadcasting who we are all the time. That's inevitable. We're all doing that. But when you hook up to the Internet, that broadcast goes a whole lot further.
It does. It goes around the world,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, one very interesting aspect I thought was, I read kind of, I guess, your take on. By the way, let's do this. Your study into the Kabbalah, to return to that. Have you kind of the articles I read? I'm going to post those in relation to this program, by the way, so people can take a look at them and read them. But have you kind of devised your own? You wrote about the introduction to the Kabbalistic tree, of life diagram.
Yes.
And was this kind of your personal interpretation, or do you base this on any other previous, studies?
Well, yes. Part of this is kind of, I guess you'd say, a summary of what I think Paul Case said about this. Let's put it that way.
Right, yeah.
Plus, you read certain things and they just go right into your third eye sometimes, and you just know it is true. You don't need anything else. It's just like, yes, that's it. It's not that you agree. It's just that for a split second, your whole being opens up and sees that it's true.
Yeah.
You just see it. So it doesn't need any other documentation. You just see it,
Yeah. So
let's go. Do you want to go through the 10 statements?
Sure, if you want to. Sure.
Yeah. Let me just statement. It's good that Chris hasn't exactly read all of this, because I'd like to just throw these at him.
All right.
And get him to say, okay, boom, this is what it is. I have to go through here.
Sure,
okay.
Sure, no problem.
So this is a something that was published by Paul Foster Case in about, I think the early 20s. It's an early work of his.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, I think he states at some point that this was given to him in a not a trance state, but it was given from what he calls the inner school. So it starts out with the 0 point, and it just says all the power that ever was or will be is here now. Chris, I just throw you a football.
All right. Well, the thing that occurs to me, just as you say that, is just how we're not trying to become something else, that we already are that huge grand scope and scheme of things. Like, we can't see what we truly are because we have a fixed point about ourselves. We define ourselves and limit ourselves and put ourselves in a box, but the more you can unravel that and open that up, and the more you find the different dimensions of yourself, where you even start to supersede personality, and you tune into your own universality, and you see the consciousness behind everything. And that is what the eternal present moment is. We can go deeper and deeper into the present moment, all the way to eternity. I mean, it's talking about the higher inner dimensions of ourselves. We get to that point of where, we are connected and rejuvenated from the source itself, and we know everything from the inside out. And what we know from the inside out is that all that can be is here and now, as you say.
I mean, all the masters have talked about this statement about power. It's not that we need to have power; it's already there. What the need is to tune into it. It's like tuning your radio station.
Yeah.
And once you know how to do that, then you become very powerful. So that's the first truth about the self, is that we're not the little me that sometimes we're led to believe that we are.
Yeah.
We're not stuck.
If we are to look at the, I guess the image of the classic Kabbalah, is this the zero? Is that the root, so to speak, at the bottom? Or where do we begin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
We begin with the world, and you have to go through all the different stages to get to the 0 point.
Yeah.
The 0 point's kind of interesting. Buddha called it a void.
Yeah.
The Western occultism calls it the all.
I like the void. I mean, the void really helped me to think of it that way.
They're talking about the same thing. It's two windows, because here we are, when we're speaking through mind. Mind has to have left, right, or up and down. So when we use language, we talk about things like, okay, is it the void or is it the all? Well, it's both.
Well, the void,
the void has everything that is, that can be. For instance, all the power that ever was or will be is here now. That's the void,
and that's
or
also
the all.
It's also removing time from the picture. Like we've talked on the show before about how you can totally get past time. Just get rid of time consciousness, because a lot of that artificial structure exists within a time consciousness.
Well, that's what Christ was saying. Somebody asked him, one of the disciples asked him about how do we know when we're in the kingdom? Well, time disappears. David Icke puts it a different way. He says, if you're experiencing time, you're still in the matrix. If time disappears, and it does to us all the time, it does, whether we notice it or not. Time disappears when you're having a great time, and then suddenly you realize, my God, is it already 12:30?
Yeah.
And that's
the heart awakening. That's living with the heart open.
Yeah. So let's move on to number one.
All right.
Okay, number one says, I am a center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe.
Yeah.
I am a center of expression.
Yeah. Well, that's also goes with the Zen saying, become the hollow bamboo. I mean, you become the universe's instrument. The universe plays you. When you open up and you learn to go with inspiration and you move. I mean, at first you kind of have to practice it. You kind of have to create something. You do a bunch of experiments. Then after a while, you get the flow going, and the universe really moves you as a living work of art every moment of every day. And so that's also a means of how, like I was talking about earlier, living that in the world. Becoming that in the world, and that's the will, the will, like I said, will to good. We express, we sustain things, we create things by aligning with that will. And see, then what it's saying also is, that's not will serving ego, which a lot of people have, which is their small, localized, personal view and what they prefer and not prefer and what they're trying to gain and all the things that might be in somebody. This is kind of after you give that up, you dismantle that, you get out of the way, you see that there is a greater good. You're part of the bigger picture, and you see that what you're here to do is serve a role in that.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Henrik, you want to add anything to this?
No, guys, let's go. This is great, so we can get to them all.
Okay.
Let's continue.
Here's what the number 2. Through me, its unfailing wisdom takes form in thought and word. Actually, what we're doing today, are attempting to do.
Yeah, well, through me, through the me is the watcher, the one who is aware, and that is not a different thing. Like I've said sometimes before, the master is one and the same. It's the same, we might look at someone like Osho or Yogananda or, even David, is someone who's awake and is like a teacher, a master teacher in their own right. But the true master state, what it is, it's totally not that this person is a master over anything. It's a master of. It's not even that they're a master of themselves. I'm even seeing around. It said the master is present, and the master is that consciousness of the universe as it is awake in you. You are awake. We are here. I am here. I am ready to do the good work.
Man, are you sure you didn't read this? Because you almost...
I don't know. I'm just firing away.
All right, let's go to number 3. Filled with understanding of its perfect law, I am guided, moment by moment, along the path of liberation.
Yeah, the way of Tao. You just walk a steady path, you follow the river of life. You don't fight against the current. You don't try to take your own personal... Well, that's one of the things we learn is that the more personal we do things, really the more harm we bring upon ourselves, kind of, because we're working against the natural currents of the universe. The best thing to do is see what comes moment to moment and be able to tune into that and go along with that fluidly and not make any fuss about it. And then you walk the way of life. That's a steady path.
That's it. I want to read just a little bit of a little quote because it explains my own personal. Everybody gets their understanding and their guidance in a unique way, and mine is kind of strange. I'm just going to read this. It says, moment by moment, filled. You're guided. In other words, the idea where if we would just wake up, we will be guided to our own liberation, because the basic will of the universe of the universe.
That's pretty good, though.
That's a good one.
That's good.
Is for everybody to be liberated. So in my little blurb here that I have written here, it says liberation from what? We want to be liberated from our limited view of who we are. This affirmation states that guidance is always available to us. The universe itself will guide us if we will only listen with ears to hear, see with eyes to see. I get advice, and actually quality advice, from very strange places these days. At the checkout station in the local grocery store, I always pay attention to the clerk if he or she says, "Your change is $1.30. I don't know how many times I've rushed home and looked up in the I Ching, the Book of Changes, hexagram 1, leading to hexagram 30, for some advice